I think Rick Beato has a couple of videos or there's one video he just released where he really kind of leans into. It was funny. He did say something in one of his sections how easy it is to write music nowadays because of technology. I'm like, there's a part of me that I get that. The access to the sounds are easier, but it doesn't mean that it's easier to write. Agree? Anybody? Disagree? I don't know. Composers and musicians, and we have our DAWs and stuff like that. You know, I do kind of, I'm really behind what I said about the fact that just because technology has made it easier to get the tools to write a song in more people's hands, especially in the last 15 to 18 years, and now you have wonderful sounds that sounds like drums, guitars, bass, you know, all the things that you got. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the e-ticket to writing really good music. Of course, that's also subjective. You know, writing a good song. Well, a good song according to whom? You know, if you're the artist, I mean, look, I'll be the first one to say out of all the music that I've heard on streams here, from the eclectic suggestion you guys have given me, I've heard a lot of things that I didn't think were couldn't have been imagined. And I'm not saying that in a shitty way. I'm just saying, oh my God, I would have never thought to have done that or this or the other thing. And, you know, I was exposed to a lot more things in my little bubble in my years of writing music. I was only in this bubble. So this journey's been about that. But it is, and a lot of that journey actually has to do with the fact that in a lot of these composers' hands are accessible modules, VSTs, you know, DAWs that you can do and start creating. So the barriers all come down. But you know, I'm still marinating a little bit of watching this one Rick Beato video where he talks about the changes that have happened, of course, like old farts like us do. It's not like it used to be. Well, that's not my jam. I'm not that guy. I'm probably the outlier, quote unquote, boomer, if you would, because I don't stew in how it used to be, and music's not music unless it's this or has this many chords. There was a part of me in my mind when I was listening to what he was saying, and go, God forbid if Mozart and Bach or Brahms or any of those guys had the opportunity to have social media channels and then listen to, I hate to say it, even jazzy fusion, big band music, and if they would have sat there and gone, what is this? Why are these pieces of music only 2 minutes long? How could that be? How can one feel without, I mean, it would be really, like, could you imagine that as an opportunity if one of those, you know, a series of super famous classical composers heard the change of music, right, into even more contemporary jazz fusion, all the things that we've ever heard, like every generation does, and looks back and goes, what is this? What is this? What is this? And it just seems like every generation dives into, what is this? What is this? This wasn't how it was back and then. And I kind of understand that conversation because you're nostalgic for, you know, what it was your process was. And all of your friends gloried together while getting around and punching out chords and making music. I get it. But, you know, sometimes when I hear some of the conversations out there that go on, I'm like going, you know, and I'm not that guy. I'm that guy that's going, very interesting. How's that going to work? What new tools are there for the composers? This is great. You know, the AI conversation's a different thing. There's technical copyright issues and stuff, and I did that video the other day on the Decomposer Lounge. But as far as like somebody, you know, declaring that today's music isn't as good as it was before, or doesn't have the same elements, or how is it that this song is a hit when it only has a looping, this, that, and the other thing, and its vocals with this effect on it and stuff, and I don't know. I think also, too, perhaps any of these individuals with that opinion also have themselves bubbled in a focus. I think this might be an important thing to say there. They have a bubble of focus only on specific genres, and haven't expanded outwardly and say, how can music be like this? How come pop music? No, because you're focusing on that too. Are you not hearing pop music, contemporary pop music from around the world that has 8 chord changes and 4 bars, you know, with soaring melodies, you know, the J-pop, K-pop style stuff, the anime style stuff. So to me, when I hear certain people talk about things, they're only focusing on a bubble that they hover in their snow globe of an opinion. Ooh, slick. At the same token, I got to end this rant by saying this one thing. I thought about it this morning. In the meantime, while people talk about technology and this, and it's made it easier and it's lowered the barrier to entry is lower. You don't need to have a lot of talent and all that. Could you imagine being a fly on the wall for film, TV, media, when cameras used to cost this much and you couldn't get editing and you had to edit with film like this and you had to do this and you had to do that and it was lighting and it had to be, it had to be bigger things and it had to be, and then all of a sudden a few years later, a little camera comes out, makes it easier and easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. And now the very means that a lot of these people have to put out their opinion videos when it comes to technology shifting or changing, it is the very exact technology that they're using that puts them out there right now. 4K camera that's this big, 2 mics, editing. You could do it, on your cell phone and all that. So I find it ironic that sometimes people who have this rant that they run off on how technology has changed music and it's made it less this and less important and the process is not the same and it's this. I'm like, bruh, you're delivering your opinion right now on the same kind of technology arc, except visual. The itty bitty can't, you know what I'm saying, right? So if the barrier to entry is lower now, let's say because of all this technology for music, well, so is it now because I have my GoPro and I have my Insta360 and I got a lav and I've got editing and I've got lights and I've got colors and I have LUTs and I have all kinds of things that I can drag and drop. The very things that are being used, if not even in the video where some of these people are talking about, it used to be this way. They're using AI generated image graphics. You know what I mean? I was like going, bruh, okay, I get it. Just, say your thing, but do you not kind of catch the touche, if you would, of it? So